Hello and oh my goodness. Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Jeff Blankenburg. We are here to have some fun and build some cool stuff. And as I promised on Twitter, there is a lot to talk about today. I have sunlight on my face too. Where is it? Oh, hello, sunlight. But if I do that, then I end up with this little curtain hanging here, which really bugs me. Well, I guess we're gonna leave the curtain. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot that has gone on. We have a slightly different camera angle that's a little wider. You can see that we can see a larger bit of my office, I guess. We also have these crazy lights going on behind me. So let me know what you think of those. Good morning, Kevin Evans. I'd love to know if you like or don't like. They look super cool in here, though. Actually, I'm gonna switch them up too. Because I don't think those colors are necessarily vivid enough. Let me see if I can change that up a little bit. So if we do this, and we do this, and we do this. Yeah, those colors are a little brighter, I think. So these are what are called the LifeX Beam. Oh my gosh. Dev, out of the gates, starts a game of roulette. That's awesome. So yes, they are LEDs under the shelves, and the way that they work, they're called the LifeX Beam. It's an entire like plastic casing that has LEDs inside of it, and it runs down the length of the shelf. And then there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with that. So Dev, if we're gonna play a game of roulette, I don't know how many people we have here yet. It looks like only 4, but if you want to bet, you do exclamation point. Let me get into the right screen here. You do exclamation point bet, and then you could say like 10 on red. Right? And so now I've bet 10 on red. And so you can do, you can make as many bets as you like. So I'm going to do a bet of 100 on 4. Where is my, oh, I did at. Bet 100 on 4. And you can only bet what you have. So if you want to check your balance, Dev, you can do exclamation point balance, and it'll tell you how many coins you have. And you also don't need to say on. You just say bet 10 and then the space. Karthik, good morning. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Welcome to the nonsense that is my my lighting setup. No, it's totally fine, Dev. This is a learning process. And there's lots and lots of things that this Chatsino can do. You just happen to start like the group roulette game, which is super, super awesome, but does require, like, it's a more advanced thing that you got to do. So if you want to see what you can do, you can say commands, and take a look at the Chatsino one. There's an Alexa chatbot running also, but for the Chatsino one, you can do things like check your balance, check a pay table, position. Actually, I need to update that too, because there's also a leaderboard now. So I need to update that commands to say position, leaderboard, like so. Okay. So there's rock, paper, scissors games. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on inside the casino. And so if you're ever not sure, like TradeLast just showed you there, if you're ever not sure what you can wager on in roulette, if maybe you're not an expert roulette player, you can say position, it'll tell you and you just indicate roulette, and it'll tell you all of the places that you could bet. So then you could say, oh, I want to bet 10 on 16, or I want to bet 10 on top. And I probably should even, TradeLast, there isn't currently a way to see your current bets. This is something that I still need to build. But that is something that is in my list for sure. There's also the ability for people to give you coins. So if people would like to... Adev, what was your balance? Did it come through? It might have been right when I saved it. Adev, you have 506 coins. And it says you don't have any outstanding bets. Have you not made any bets to the roulette game yet? Because it should tell you, if you say, like if I say balance, it should say, I have 295 coins, but I have 3 bets for 210 coins. So I've already made some wagers. So I guess that's about as close as you're going to get TradeLast for right now. you can see how much in total you've bet, but I haven't seen you. It does not have the ability to show you like each individual bet right now, but it'll show you those once we spin. Decktime99, what games do we have in the Twitch bot? So the games that are currently here, if you hit commands, you can see that the Chatsino can support poker, roulette, slots, and then there's a group roulette game, which is what we're doing right now, and then it also supports craps. But craps is kind of a weird hybrid model where you can create your own private game and make bets and do all the stuff, but you can't do it while we're in the middle of a group roulette game, so that'll have to finish before we can do that. So this is where I say to everyone, if you would like, make your final bets on the roulette game. You could do that with !bet, the amount that you want to bet, and then the place that you want to bet it. So if it's red or black or odd or even or whatever. But in a moment here, I'm going to type no more bets, and it's going to spin the wheel and cash everyone out. So if you have any Decktime99, I wrote all of this in Node in JavaScript, and all of it is available on my GitHub, which we will be talking about later in this session. But you can find it on my GitHub. There is a bot, a repository on my GitHub called Chatsino, and you can find it all there. So you can see all the code, how it all works, how it's structured, how it evaluates the outcomes, all that kind of stuff is there. Happy to share it with y'all. Okay, any more bets? Final opportunity. All right, no more bets. Here we go. It makes me nervous when I don't see anything. There we go. So there's our results. 34 was the spin. It looks like Adev did not do very well. You have 212 coins left available, Adev, but thank you for kicking off that game of roulette. That was super fun. And it looks like a couple people have won. Pika Program won 10. I won 10 on red. There you go. So the point is to have a little fun. If you guys would like to play games on your own, though, I'll give you a quick demonstration of how they work. If you say poker and an amount, like I'm going to say poker 5, it will do one hand of video poker for you. You can see that I won there because I got a pair of aces. Gold Zulu getting aggressive with 1,000 coins. So that's poker. Then there's slots. I'll do 5 on that as well. This will spin a 3-wheel slot machine, and you can see that I lost 5 coins on that. And then there is roulette by yourself, which is if you just do roulette 5 red or something like that, and it will it'll tell you how you did in roulette. So yeah, thanks, man. Decktime, appreciate it, man. And hey, if you've built something like this before, stick around, give us a follow, because I'd love your feedback and thoughts on how we handle some of this stuff. Because I'm building all of this on stream, and so a lot of times it is it's nice to have other perspectives. So if you want to join us again sometime, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, that is yeah, this would have been super cool to do in Vegas. In fact, we'll have to do this the next time there's an Amazon event in Vegas. We'll have to all meet up and do a little gambling. So the casino is running nicely, but the thing that I promised on my Twitter, let me jump over there to my Twitter. If you guys don't know, I post on Twitter, usually 10 or 15 minutes before we go on stream. W. Giorgio with the big win. That's going to make Kevin Evans mad. If you look at yeah, Decktime, I am playing with channel points a little bit. There are places where, like, you kicked off that roulette game, and that's starting the chatbot. But I'm trying not to get too deep into the channel points because I know they have a lot of very specific policies about letting people trade their channel points in for real-world things, and I just don't want to get weird there. But I think there may be a point where I let you trade your channel points in for the casino currency. But again, there's lots of time to come on there. So there's some things that I wanted to cover today. If we look at this tweet, this is stuff that I plan on doing today. And so look at that. W. Giorgio just keeps on winning. Anyway, JB Nunn is here. We've got Karthik here. We've got all Gold Zulus here. Everybody's here this morning. This is great. So the thing that I want to start with is this. This literally got delivered 12 minutes ago. Like right before the stream started, it showed up at my door. This is called the LA Metric or La Metric. I'm not sure what the right way to pronounce that is. But the La Metric, here, let's go this way. La Metric Time. And it's this cool kind of LED looking device that can do all sorts of stuff. And the thing that really interested me about this was that it, I'm gonna open it right now. It shows things like Twitch followers and Twitter followers, and there's all sorts of other like third-party apps that you can run on it. And I thought that might be pretty interesting to play with. My goal, I think it's going to fit nicely right here on top of this little shelf. So it's kind of a cool way to do this. W. Georgia, I'm glad you like the lights, man. This took some serious installation over the weekend. The real challenge is these metal brackets for the shelves right here. Going under those, it dips down like a quarter of an inch, maybe a millimeter or two. Yeah, there's something. Okay, step 1 done. I got the cellophane off. Step 2, cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Let's not make bad music puns today. Not having any luck. Oh, there we go. I was just cleaning my office this weekend, and I found one of these guys, so we'll use this to open it. You love when you just find a razor blade laying around, right? That's always good. With kids in the house. There we go. I could give you a link for them. You can go to the LifeX website, lifx.com, if you're looking for lights like these, Jeff Nunn. But the real problem with these lights is that they are literally sold out everywhere. I bought these in February, and I only just got around to installing them. But they are not available anywhere, and now I think I want another set under this shelf, and then there's another shelf above, and that one doesn't have any lights either, and so I feel like I really wish I'd bought more, because I bought refurbished ones too, so I got them on like kind of a deal. Okay, please fit where I think you're going to fit. Mickey might have to come down if it doesn't fit. Oh yeah, look at that. That's going to be awesome. That's where it's going to sit. Okay. So next step is to get its cellophane casing off, maybe. I just ripped the cellophane casing, but it didn't let go. We're going to see what we can do with this thing. Yeah, the lights are a lot. I was thinking, the movement, I think, is what does a lot of the issue, Karthik. I think eventually I will probably make them stop moving. But I felt like on day one, man, we gotta do it, right? Oh my gosh, all sorts of power adapters. This is pretty awesome. Quick start guide. All right, get the cardboard out of here. Okay, I got all the cardboard out. This is kind of nice. It comes with a power adapter, but then it also comes with the international ones, which is pretty nice. I don't even need to take that off, but that fits in there nicely. Okay. All right, and then it comes with a micro USB, like everything in the world. Not made by Apple. Highlight the casino action in chat so that regular chat doesn't get lost in the noise. Trade Last, I agree with you. I just don't think that there's a way to do that. I don't think that there is an effective way. Oh, it goes in the back. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Kevin Evans. Oh, that is the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my whole life. So I'm going to have to get a different cable, I think. The power jack is right on the back. How am I supposed to put it up on a wall if it... Oh, okay. Well, we'll set it up for today, but we're going to have to rethink that. Because I'm forced to be that far away from something, right? Like, that's That's no good. Now I've got to... I mean, I guess I could set it on a shelf, but then I'm taking up valuable Funko space. I don't want to do that. All right, well, let's just plug this thing in and see what we get. I want to put this in a place you guys can see it, though. Let's put it... We'll move this. Put it here, maybe? Temporarily, that might be okay. We'll run some wiring. This is something that my life as a married man has made me very good at, because my wife hates wires, as she should. Yeah, that'd be funny if I just blew a fuse, huh? I have so many things plugged in over here too. What are you? Oh, okay, we're just gonna do that. Okay, it has power. That might actually be a cool spot for it. It's kind of right over my shoulder. I was thinking we'd go on that shelf, but that might be okay. That might actually blend in pretty good once we get it fired up. How many tablets is there? Yeah, it's a lot like Toy Story over here. All the toys and devices come to life. Oh, this is basically one of everything, and even multiple models, right? So I have the original Echo Dot. This is the latest one. I have the Fire TV Cube sitting here. This is the Echo Spot. This is the Echo Show 8, Echo Show 5, Echo Show version 2, Echo Show version 1, Echo version 3, I think. This is the Echo Plus. This is the Echo Tap, or the Amazon Tap. These are two discontinued devices. This is the Amazon Dash Wand. This was something you could, like, it's magnetic. You'd attach it to your fridge, you could tap the button and talk to Alexa, but you could also use it to scan products in your fridge and add them to your shopping list. So that was pretty cool. And then this was the Echo Look, which just got end-of-lifed. But it was a cool app for, like, taking pictures of yourself and using AI to determine what the outfit you should wear that day is. So okay, so now I have some code I guess I got to use. So let's do that. I downloaded the app yesterday. I was so excited for this to come. LM0448. Log in. Man, if I could type, I would be dangerous. No. Okay, we're getting there. What did you want there? Yeah. That email address looks pretty good. Oh, come on. Make sure I'm not losing any conversation. We have more Google Homes than we do Alexas now. I never bothered to do anything cool with Alexa. Well, that's too bad, Dectom99. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with both of them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Google one. I have one of those sitting right here. I don't have it plugged in right now because I ran out of outlets, but I just got some new power strips delivered, and actually these are pretty cool too. Did some shopping over the weekend, so I'm not going to take these. I'm not going to open these today, but it's basically a tower with 12 outlets and 4 USB ports. So that's that'll get installed later today. Okay, I got to figure out how to get this app running. I can't seem to log in. see, what did I log in with? Because I created an account yesterday. All right, the email's right. Okay. 0448. Join. Oh, that basically just tells you the name of the Wi-Fi. I mean, that's a kind of a smart way to do it, I guess. But now it's asking if it can connect to that Wi-Fi network. Gold Zulu, did you break your balance? I gotta figure out what... You playing some rock, paper, scissors? That's where the bug is. I just don't know where it is yet. No, it looks like you're okay. You're just out of money. I don't see you in the list. Let's see if that fixes it. Choose a Wi-Fi network. Okay, I can do that. Configuring. Oh boy, we got some Wi-Fi action. Once we're officially in production with this casino, I won't be able to reset people. You're just going to have to earn the credits back. And if you guys don't know this, you earn a credit every single time that someone chats. So every time you post a message in the chat, you earn yourself a credit. Okay. It's up and running. It's running. It's alive. Karthik, don't make me ban you, man. Yeah, I think that clock looks pretty sweet. What I want to do... Got it. Now what I want to do is... Sure. Okay. Next. Got it. How do I get more apps? More? Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't know this, there's an Alexa skill for this. That's the only way that I buy things. They have to have Alexa skills. So let me also hook up the Alexa skill, which will give me the ability to talk to it. I don't know what I can talk to it about, but I'm hoping I can say things like, ask Lametric for my Twitch followers, and it'll just do it. But we're getting there. I have my phone. We're getting into this. I probably owe Gold Zulu and W Georgia my house and car at this point. Yeah, this clock seems pretty awesome. Okay, now I'm going to enable the skill. I have to link my account. Maybe. Link my account. Link account. You're not... This is easier to do in the browser, I think. So if we go to Amazon.com. Yeah, I guess it's a 10-mile-an-hour wind here right now. I don't know how it knows where I am. I don't think I've given it my location data yet, but / no, actually we want to do it this way. Alexa.amazon.com. And we will go to skills, go to my skills. And we'll open this one. And we'll go to settings and we'll do account linking. Jomo, yeah, I agree. I feel like my bank actually takes money from me to check my balance. Allow, let's do it. Awesome. Okay, I don't know what that does yet, but we're gonna figure it out. What I want to do is figure out how, because there's like a third-party app store, Lametric Market. Okay, so we need to, can we search? Oh, we can search. Okay, so if I do Twitch, all right, we're getting there. 74 degrees outside. It was definitely hotter than that. Okay, now I go home and I open this, and I probably have to link my Twitch account, right? I have to log in. We're getting there. Log in. Let's do some two-factor auth because safety. I'm almost getting to the point now where I don't care if people know my password because it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm logged in. So can we later? Done. There it is. Look at that, guys. 454. Here, I'll blow it up. 454. That's where we're at. So I was able to hook that up to my Twitter account, and now we know we have 454 followers on Twitch. That's ridiculous. Now, does it keep cycling? Auto scroll. That's what we want. Auto scroll. So I think it's just going to flip through those. I don't know what radio is, but I don't think I need that. No. How do I get rid of one? How do I... I want to unadd it. I don't want that one. Oh, those are hidden right now anyway. Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome. So that's the Lametric time. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to play with it more, but we got it out of the box. We got it powered up. We might have even found a permanent home for it. I was really worried that I was gonna have to put that somewhere else, but we gotta hide some wires here. I've got all sorts of rewiring to do when we get back, but now we have, yeah, I think that looks pretty nice right there, actually. Okay. Okay, we can see the date, we can see the time. Yeah, Goldulo, I agree. I think that there's all sorts of stuff that I will be able to do with this, and we'll figure all of that stuff out eventually. But I was really pumped to get the follower count on there. I would also, you know what? I think there's another thing I can do on here. Let's see if we do more. No. Add another one. I think there's a way to say, like, when someone follows, that thing will go off. Let's see. Twitch. Yeah, let's add this one too. Let's see what we get on this one. Oh, I gotta put this razor blade away too. This is just sitting here on my desk. Okay. We've done it. These away in the adapter drawer. Death. Put this in the trash, which is right there for now. Home. Do I have to pair this also? Does each app need its own? Oh, it does. Wow. I was hoping because they were both Twitch that maybe I could not have to authorize both of them, but it looks, oh, there we go. I just had to tell it to do it. So now, 14 live viewers. 14. Oh, this is getting cool, everybody. That's pretty awesome. One of the things that you guys may notice that I'm trying to do is I notice lots and lots of people have like a lot of interesting on-screen stuff. And I thought it would be cool to do an analog kind of thing. I know that there was a while back where we were playing with the Lego Mindstorms. I'm going to take this sweatshirt off. It's a little warm in here today. I was playing with Lego Mindstorms, and I really wanted to have it be able to like pop up when somebody followed or when somebody did something. Everybody wants me to take a drink. Do I look dry? I'm working on the hydration. Thank you, everybody, for the tip. I just pulled the little rubber gasket off of here. Get back in there. So it's so funny. This is a little pin. Let's see if I can get this on camera. I gotta get my face out of the way. This is a little pin that I got from a conference in Berlin called DroidCon. It was actually a super cool event. But this pin has this little, I gotta get my face out of the way again. This little tip. And that little tip, I use all the time to like open boxes and slice things open. So it's like my little multi-tool that sits around in my office. This new device, Mr. Smoofy, is the clock that's sitting over there with the check mark right now. That's what time it is. But it's flipping through a few apps that I've set up, and I will add more to it in my free time. But what it does is it flips through the individual apps that I've selected, which are the clock, the weather, the followers. I guess it does the date also, but I didn't tell it to do the date. Those must just be default things. But there's the weather, the wind speed currently, although I don't know how it knows where I am. Maybe that's the issue. I haven't told it where I am, and it's pulling from somewhere else. There's my Twitch followers, 453. We just lost somebody. My goodness. That was nice of someone. And then it shows you how many people are watching live, which should be now. Oh, that would have been cool if it worked. But the next one should be the live viewers, which currently says it's 19. It might be the SEC agent. Yeah, that could be viable clan member. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So we got all sorts of nonsense happening here today, but it's kind of fun. I'm digging the lights. It's kind of cool to do this. Like, yes, I've got a bunch of digital stuff going on, but it's all analog through the camera. What's the Funko next? Oh, this is not actually a Funko Pop. This was meant to kind of look like one. We made these a couple of years ago. That is an Amazon Echo. Let me get my face out of the way. It's an Amazon Echo with a cape on. This was based on some t-shirt artwork that we'd made. And so I thought that this deserved to have a spot over here. But that's what that is. Okay. What else did we talk about doing today? Number 2 on my list was working on the chatbot. We will definitely do that. Something else that I wanted to show you guys was, well, not show you, but talk about. I am about to be 44 years old. That's coming up next Wednesday, the 22nd, the day of Alexa Live. By the way, if you're not registered for Alexa Live, alexa.design/live. Go check it out. Get registered. All the sessions will be recorded, even if you can't go during the time that it's offered. and you can go back and check out all the cool stuff. Lots of announcements and keynotes and stuff. I have a session in there. Jeff Nunn has a session in there. Lots and lots of cool stuff going on. I think even Karthik has a session in there. Jomo Code has a session. Like we've got a good crew of people that are here, and it's going to be super cool. But it's next Wednesday. It happens to be my birthday, and I'm turning 44. And I was thinking about all the stuff that I've been storing in my basement since I got married, which is 21 years ago. And 21 years ago, my mom said, hey, take all of this stuff of yours out of my house. And one of those things was my giant sports card collection. Baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards. There's probably some hockey cards in there. Garbage Pail Kids. Like all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. And I decided last night that like I don't even know what's down there. And I've been listening to, like, there's people I follow on social media and stuff that are talking about how much money there is to be made in sports cards. Now, I know, is the audio low? That would be a good thing to know if the audio is low, but I think it's probably okay. I haven't changed the settings in a while. So I decided there's no way for me to know. Jomo thinks it's low too. Okay. There's no way for me to know whether it's worthwhile to sell any of the stuff if I don't even really know what I have. So I went digging through the boxes that I have in my basement last night, and I only pulled out, I have 4 of like the big Rubbermaid tubs just full of cards. And they're all boxed up and in binders and stuff like that. And I pulled 1 box out last night. They must weigh 50 pounds each. And oh my god, there's so many. So what I'm actually going through and doing, I can show you guys this. Let's go to this. If I go to Sheets, I started, because I'm a nerd, I started a Google Sheet, and in this Google Sheet I have a summary page. Well, that's not the summary page. I have a summary page that looks like this, and this is based on cards in each set, right? So 1987 tops. This isn't what I have. This is just what I cataloged last night. So I entered 1 unique card. It happens to be the Barry Bonds rookie card. I have one of those, and it's in very, very nice condition. And so it ranges between $4 and $10. Again, I'm not expecting a lot out of this. I'm not doing it because I think there's a fortune to be found. But it's interesting to think about, especially like a Barry Bonds rookie. If I was to send that away to a service called PSA, they will rate the card based on a scale from 1 to 10, and 9s and 10s do really, really well. And so I started digging through the cards, but this 1990 tops just happened to be the first set that I opened. And I've already, I've cataloged 157 of them. If I show you the tab, it looks like this. And I have what the number of the card is, who the player is, what team they were on, and what the approximate value it is, and then also what the quantity of those things I have is, and if there's anything interesting or unique about the card, like some have errors on them, things like that. So I've been going through all of these, and you can see that most of them are worth between a penny and a nickel, and it's probably less than that. They just don't have a way to say worth less than a penny, because I can't imagine anyone would want most of these cards. But this is what I did last night for like 3 hours. I went through and took each card out and go through all of this. Pika, that's just my last name. There's no interesting story about it. But it's my family name came from Germany. There's a town. Actually, we had a viewer the other day that was living in Blankenburg, Germany. And yeah, that's the whole story. It's not made up or anything. That's my real last name. It's right there on the screen. I'm not shy to share that, but I won't be sharing trade last things like my mother's maiden name. But even that data, it seems like anymore it's so easy to find. So anyway, so this is the baseball card thing that I've been doing, and you can see that out of these 222 cards, even if I was able to get the most they could all each be worth, it's less than $20 for 222 cards. Now I estimate probably 25,000 cards or so. So I don't expect a lot out of them, but I'm hoping that, like, if I can find a really nice Barry Bonds rookie or a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card or something like that, I don't know, maybe they're worth a few dollars. So worth looking through and seeing what I've got. So that's a project that I've been working on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is these lights briefly. I know that they've been rolling here for a little bit, but these are called... really? Alexa, clear my notifications.
Delete all your notifications, right?
Yes.
Okay, deleted your notifications.
Also, Pika, Viable Clan member, anybody else that's here, that if you guys aren't following right now, please drop a follow in there. We're trying to get to 500 so that I've promised the crew here that I will do an entire episode dressed as an X-Wing pilot. And so I would love to be able to do that, but we got to get to 500 to make that happen. So Viable Clan member, thank you for the follow. That's super awesome, and we should see the number go up. So that's also very fun. Okay, so that was the core of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. The last piece that I thought was interesting and useful for all of you is that if you go to, I'll use mine as an example, but if you go to your GitHub profile page, you now have the ability, I guess it's been around for a little while, but people are just starting to discover it. You now have the ability to create a repo that is your name, and the README from that repository will be like a default section of your profile page on GitHub. So this allows you to put all the things that you want in here. So I can show you what this looks like, maybe. So if I come in and click edit, you can see that this is just the README file from a Jeff Blankenburg repository. And in here, all I've done is indicate a bunch of social media stuff. But I'm going to add some more things in here that I find interesting or useful, or things that I think you should check out if you're already checking out my profile. So I think this is pretty awesome that they give you the ability to do this. And Markdown is a pretty cool way to do it. So you can see I've got all my social media stuff sitting right here. So if you go to my GitHub, you'll find all that stuff. Now they give you the ability to link to your blog and to your Twitter as part of this profile stuff, but this is everything else pretty much. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool and something that a lot of people didn't know about. It was going around Twitter over the weekend, and so there you go. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about the casino chatbot, because that's the thing that we're really working on. That's what the bottom of the screen says. One of the things that I added this morning, I literally wrote this in the hour before we started streaming, is I can do Leaderboard. And apparently Alexa has that command too, but you can see the Chatsino now has this really cool feature that pumps out a leaderboard. And man, Kevin Evans, you were in the top 5 when I ran this earlier this morning, but it appears that you no longer are in the top 5. So it shows the top 5, but if you run it, then it will also show you what place you're in. So if you're in 3rd place, so for example, if W. Giorgio runs this, when you run it, it won't show you that last line where it shows 19 in my position. It only shows that if you're not in the top 5. So Pika, there you go. You're in 12th. So that's the new leaderboard. I had to figure out how to... Mr. Smoofy just bought one. I should have given you my Amazon referral link, man. Dang. Super cool. Anyway, it's not cheap, but it seems pretty fun. Adev just lost 500 on the slot machine. So this is how I'm doing leaderboards now, and that's the first thing that I really wanted to talk about in this code, is that it's requiring me... You'll notice a lot of my commands are like this, right? If you say balance, all I do is call out to a function, get one response, and give it back to you, and that's when you do your balance, that's how it responds to you with your balance. So as Mr. Smoofy just did, right? He just has 5,472 coins. One of the other things that I just discovered, I didn't realize there was a built-in function for this, is that let's go into cashier.balance and take a look at that, because I want to make one small change to it. So if we go to balance, you can see that I call into your user object, basically, and I say, this has available funds coins. And I'm going to say to locale. What was it? What did I do in the... Stop it. Leaderboard. To locale... String. Okay. So what this does... I didn't even know this function existed until this morning. I'm going to take this and put it on here. We'll put it on this, and we'll put it on this. So now, even on your balance, if you come in and look at your balance, if you have more than 1,000 coins, it'll drop that comma in there for you, which I don't currently have enough money to do that. But I'm going to have to do that everywhere. So if somebody with more than 1,000 coins, if you can run the balance command, there you go, W. Giorgio. See how it drops a comma in there? That's so much easier to read. So I think that's pretty cool that just by adding that little built-in function command that I didn't even know existed, it will automatically throw commas in there for me. So pretty awesome. But I need to do that a bunch of places because you can see that there's many places where I'm saying like you have 3,000 coins available, right? So that I'm gonna have to do this everywhere that we talk about balances basically, or even bets. But pretty much anywhere that I reference a number, I would like to be able to put that on top of it. My goodness, W. Giorgio just cleaning up. And then right afterward is Kevin Evans, who just cannot get a break. It's just, I feel bad. I feel bad. Okay, so let's do, I think I can do that. But let's get back into what's really going on with the chatbot and what we want to build today. So the leaderboard is there, it's working. It's kind of fun. You can see that I started building Blackjack over the weekend. Now it's commented out, you're not going to be able to run it right now, but I started thinking about what Blackjack looks like, and it's messy. Man, it's really messy. It's a lot more like craps than it is like roulette or poker, where it's just kind of a one-time thing and go. Because I need to let you like hit and get more cards. I need to let you split when you get a pair. Yeah, those kinds of things are a bit trickier, and they even allow more additional betting, right? So now I have to think about how much each bet is worth, and how do I evaluate against those bets, and how do I make sure that you are paid appropriately. There's a lot to it. So I started building it, but we're certainly not going to get that done today. But it does make me feel like maybe we could do the thing that I think it was W. Giorgio or Gold Zulu was asking about, where like I want to see all of my active bets. I think we could do that. What if we did like list bets? Because I've already built this functionality, right? I already know everything that you need to know and do about that, so I don't think that's going to be very hard. You want a code review, Kevin Evans? The code's there. It's on my GitHub. You can take a look. I don't think you'll find your username anywhere in the code. Dev, what did you just hit? Nice. 3,000, one cherry. There was one time where I was just goofing around and I hit the 3 bells, which paid like 13 to 1, and I bet a lot. Also show everyone's bet. Let's see. Like you can see at a real casino, just not your own. Like that's the problem is that somebody mentioned earlier, like we're already cluttering up the chat quite a bit, and so I'm trying not to be crazy about that. So what I do is, like for the roulette game, I tell you at the beginning, like I summarize and say, okay, we're about to spin the wheel. There are 74 bets for 10,000 coins or whatever. So I summarize, and then as it goes through, it shows you each individual person's, each of their wagers, and whether each one of them won or lost. But I feel like there's it gets kind of messy to think about people asking all the time, like, what are all the bets on the table? One of the other things that I hope to do is to make some visuals about this. And so I will be doing some, they're called browser source, but there is a way to do basically a browser source. Gold Zulu has been doing some cool work around this. And I want to have some browser source information somewhere. I don't know where it's going to be, but like a scrolling ticker that shows all the active bets so that you can see it there. And I'd also like, for like big wins, I'd love for those things to splash on the screen. But that requires some different work, right? Because my chatbot is running locally here on my Mac, but my stream and all of the stuff that you're seeing on the screen is all running on a PC next to me. So that's the real trick that I have, is figuring out how do I get all of this stuff to communicate properly. I know the machines are sitting right next to each other, but it's still a trick. I know I can do a scrolling ticker, but feeding the right data into that, is that something that I can easily do, Gold Zulu? And easily update and all that? It's just stuff I haven't explored. I'm sure it's not impossible, but I just haven't tried it yet. Yeah, the problem is that I have the node running here and I have the ticker running on another machine. So now I've got to figure out how to write to the file remotely, or have another node instance running there that's just churning, looking for changes. That could work too, but that potentially puts a tax on my ability to stream, because I'm trying to use the processor on the streaming machine as little as possible so that I can pump out. Yeah, and Mr. Smoothie, like I said, there's 100 possibilities. There's 100 possibilities around how I can do this stuff. It's just that I haven't done it yet. And the less that I can have processing happening on my streaming machine, the better. But if that's where I have to do it, if that's where the chatbot ends up living or whatever, that's okay. I'm just trying to avoid that if I can. Adev, I'm glad you came around. The casino is pretty fun, and I'm glad that you feel like it's not terribly cluttered. I agree, there is a lot going on, but I think ultimately it leads to a lot of interactivity and fun. You guys are all chatting and having conversations and competing with one another. That's one of the reasons for the leaderboard, is to let you all kind of play and have some fun, and do that stuff together. And if you see somebody struggling, you can always give them coins or whatever. So there's lots and lots of options here. Yeah, Mr. Smoofy, you're absolutely right. BeginBot is, that channel's got so much going on, and he's actually my inspiration might be overstating it, but he's the one that kind of inspired a lot of what's happening on this channel, right? The casino, a lot of the other lighting and stuff like this. One of the other things that I wanted to do, I haven't added this as a reward yet. Do I even have is this it? That button doesn't even work. But I think I can do it this way. If I come over here and I do this, one of the other things, like BeginBot does this cool thing where he's very good at doing Rubik's Cubes. And so you can use channel points to get him to solve a Rubik's Cube. And it's a lot of channel points, probably 4,000 or 5,000. But I set this up. Is this going to work? I set this up. I forgot that I set this up. This was another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Check this out. This is a Raspberry Pi running all of the games. And one of the things that I thought would be interesting, and again, I haven't built anything to do this yet, is that he lets his audience bet on how long it would take him to speedrun something. And so I was thinking, like, I could come into Super Mario Brothers and maybe we see how long it takes me to finish the first level. By the way, can you guys hear the game? Let me know in a second if you can hear it. I think it should be coming through as audio. If this wants to load. There we go. You guys can hear the audio? Awesome. So I can't hear it. I don't have headphones on or anything. But let's just see. Let's see how this works. I'm interested to see how it streams for you guys. Why it jumped out there, but it's a little loud. Okay, good feedback. Good feedback. Now the question is, do I want to speedrun this? Like just try to finish the level? Because that's something. Oh god. I haven't tried to speedrun this before, so let me try one more life here. I feel like getting the mushrooms worth my while. Can't seem to make that jump. That's why it's worthwhile. Oh god. Okay. So this is I'm actually playing it on an NES controller too, which is pretty awesome. Because it feels natural, but I'm not doing very good. But that's because I'm trying to go so fast. I'm used to playing this game for like trying to achieve. Not having the B button down all the time. I missed the jump. This controller seems to have a little bit of lag. It's like it's an aftermarket third-party like replica, but it never seems to be just like right on the nose with things. So anyway, we have that. We have access to pretty much every retro video game from N64 and earlier. There's a lot there. Dev climbing. It looks like an NES controller. Yeah, I mean it's meant to look and act and feel like an NES controller, but this is actually a third-party, like brand new product that has a USB end to it. So it doesn't actually say Nintendo on it. It's not the official. It's not the official thing, but it's close. All right. So we have the ability to do speed runs in games as well, and I think it would be interesting to do this in a way where you guys pick the game. I don't know how we'll do that effectively, but I pretty much, on this little Raspberry Pi, I pretty much have all the games. So it's very, very interesting to me to see what we can do with that as well, because I have it all set up and it's really easy to flip over to and play some games. And so, yeah, that might be a thing that we focus on. Maybe sometimes it's a game of Street Fighter, or it could be Mega Man or Mario Brothers. But yeah, I think that might be a fun addition, like a little breakup in the code. But the thing that I'd like to do, is that the thing that I want to do? Leaderboard needs to happen. I thought about top 10. It was too many. So I did top 5. We can get rid of that to-do item. I guess this one's done, because we can do that roulette group now. Make a centralized to-do list. That would be interesting and useful. Probably something I should do. Let's do that right now. I think this will be good. And if you guys have ideas on things that should be in here as well, that might be really good. To do dot yeah, we'll do it as a markdown file. I think that's pretty good. So let's talk about some of our to-do items. We'll take these. Put them here. That's not commented anymore. So we can just I have to remember how to do some of this markdown syntax, but whoa. Okay, so now we can start. There's a way for me to. Let's go to my. Where's my browser? Markdown syntax guide. Okay. Perfect. Basic syntax. I just want like headers and basic stuff like that. So heading level 1. I really want heading level 2, so we'll just do 2 pound signs. And we'll say that this is going to be global issues and features. And then we'll do like Blackjack. And this is going to be poker. I don't know if I'll have any for poker. We could do, let's do craps, because that's still a thing that has problems. Players. No, I did not want you to lowercase that. Okay, so we'll take this, and what is a bulleted list too? That's a thing I should probably know. Alternate syntax, headings, paragraphs, line breaks, bold, italic. I think it's just a star. Nested block quotes list. There we go. Markdown is, oh, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's great. Unordered list is dashes or stars. And I don't think these necessarily have an order, so we'll use stars. So that can go like that. This can come up here. This feels like a slots issue. This can go away since we just did that. We'll move this up to the top, even though I've already started working on this. Please use checklists. Do they have checklists? Markdown checklist. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So we're just gonna, it's just like this, I think. That's what it looked like to me, right? Oh, there's gotta be a space in it? Okay. Thank you for that tip, Pika. Appreciated. So if we save that, I think I can also do a preview, and it looks like that. But oh, it's not an. It's not a working. Oh, it'll do that on GitHub. Okay. So that's just for me to put an X in later, and then it'll mark it as done. But I can leave the items in the checklist. I see. Okay, so I think we have a bunch of other to-dos hidden throughout our project, though. Maybe not. Oh, I did this. Okay. That's good. I like when something's done. And then what is this? For the, oh, what did I just do? I have no idea where that just was. Can we undo it? Oh man. I just replaced a to-do item, and I don't know what it was. We need to think about the 3 horizontal rows. What file is this? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So if we go back to our to-do, save this, for roulette, we need to be able to bet on the 3 horizontal rows of the app. Mr. Smoothie, I feel like I should check and see if they have the @ symbol, just remove it. Maybe I should do that. We could do that really quick. Give is in the table. Yeah, it's here. So what I do with the give is I check and say, how do I do this? My target user, I am using the value that you gave me here. So I should be able to say dot replace. I'll just get rid of the @ symbol, because I don't think you can have an @ symbol in your name anyway. Okay, I think, Mr. Smoothie, I think that'll fix it. I think I just fixed that issue. Let's see if that works. So if I come in here and we say give, but I wanted the @ symbol, like so. Nice. Okay, bug fixed. I like knocking them out. Let's keep rolling. So I can close that down, and I feel like I had more to-do items. Oh, Dectom, thank you, man. Let's I said man. I don't actually know your gender, but thank you for that. Images, links, backslashes, block quotes. I hate that there's GitHub flavored Markdown. It should just be Markdown, but I understand. I do understand. One of the things I do like to do with checklists, though, we should do this so that's going to go under cashier. No, it was under table, so we'll do it down here. We'll do like this, and then we'll say what do we want to say? Allow users to indicate a username with an @ symbol. So then if I do a little preview on that, what does it look like? Beautiful. Okay. It'll look much nicer on GitHub, which is where we're storing all of this stuff, so I think that's good. Yeah, that's a super helpful cheat sheet. Thank you so much, Dectom. Dectom? Dectom 99. Dectom. Yeah. Okay. Blackjack. We can add an item here, but there's so much to do. Do all the things. I've started it. Like I said, I did start it. This needs some very specific attention. The craps one. Move combats to something else. When a point is hit. So this is a real trick. I actually have to like convert my the wagers that you make in craps for specific situations. So we talked a little bit about craps last week. Table layout. One of the things that you run into, I really hate the layout of some of these tables. They're just garbage. This looks good. So, just let me see the picture. Okay, so this is what a craps table looks like, and one of the things that people can bet is on this red cum right here. And so what this means is, first of all, that's actually another thing I need to add to my to-do list is for craps. Prevent bets that aren't currently allowed. Okay. To-do tree is another thing for VS Code. Let's add this to this. We could say who recommended that? Dev recommends checking out TODO tree for VS Code. Okay. Let My People Code is here. He's in playing poker already. Awesome, man. Welcome, welcome. Is it not working? Did you guys, or maybe I broke it. Do all the things is quite common in mine as well. It's just how it goes sometimes. I noticed that Let My People Code, your bet didn't work or go through or something. The casino's working, right? Poker 50? Oh, I can't do it here. It turns out you have to do that in the chat box. Oh, he didn't have enough coins. I see. Oh, I see. I missed the error message. Perfect. 3 of a kind. What's up? That's a nice win. Okay, so let's get back to our to-do list. So there's a few things in craps that are really just not working properly. Well, Let My People Code. This is an opportunity to chat more, talk to the people. That's where we're at. That's where all the cool kids are hanging out, is in the chat. And if you want to play a little casino game on the side, that's great. So Blackjack, lots of work to do. Slots, that's more like a future feature, right? How do we do multiple slot machines? I have to think a lot about that. Roulette, this is another thing that I don't currently support, and I don't have a great way to do it. Mostly because I just don't have the words for it. So let's look at our roulette table. The problem that I have with the rows, and you can see here in this image, that's not the table I wanted. Open an image and new tab. Okay, so let's take a look at this image, because I think this is kind of interesting and cool. So the craps, I'm sorry, not craps, the roulette table that we're using currently, I only have a single zero, so it's just the one item down here at the end. I have all of the colors, all of the numbers, obviously. I have first 12, second 12, third 12. Those are high, middle, no, sorry. Yeah, high, middle, low. So third, 12, third, second, first is high, middle, low. We have first 1 to 18 and 19 to 36. Those are both the top and bottom. Trade last because I hate America. I don't. The double zero was harder to implement, and so I just didn't do it. I probably should, but not all tables have it. It's not like it's not like all tables have a double zero, and it reduces all of your odds. So actually having it is worse for you. Let my people code. Yeah, you're not hitting, man. You'll get there. Little $5 bets here and there are awesome. Actually, you could do like a simple something like this. If you really just want to like wait till you win, you could do poker 1, and you're betting 1. But if you hit one of the top things, you're gonna get like, I mean, if I do pay table poker, look at this. If you hit the royal flush, it's 50,000 to 1. You'd win 50,000 coins if you hit that, and you could just bet 1. Now it may never happen, right? Because the odds are even worse than that. It happens like 70,000 to 1 or something like that. But that one's pretty good. And then the pay table for slots, you could bet 1 on slots, and that would give you 100 to 1 if you hit the 3 diamonds. Trade last, you're exactly right. You would lose 0 coins because you earned the 1 for posting the message. You're absolutely right. Holy cow. You bet on 5 and it hit 5. That's amazing. Greg, you should go to a casino immediately. That is amazing. Amazing. Like, that's the kind of outcome where I would want something to flash on the screen or have something exciting happen. That's 37 to 1 odds you just hit. That's amazing. Well, I would say you're not super unlucky. You just hit. Now I wish you'd bet 500 or 1,000 or something. But that's okay. That's a pretty awesome hit, man. That's a one-time shot. You just happened to hit it. Yeah, somebody should clip that for Greg. Anyway, I don't know if I can get it on the LaMetric, because you can also build your own apps for that thing. So I thought it might be cool, like when there's a follower, to like blink or flash, because I'm doing that with this light bulb right now. But it's going through if this then that, and it seems to be very slow. Like we had somebody follow us earlier in this show, which by the way, if you're not following, please do. But if we had somebody follow earlier in the show, and then like a half an hour from now, the light will flash, and I don't know. I just feel like it would be kind of nice to be able to have it happen live. I think that's what I'm going to try and do with the bars too, if I can get that to work. So if you guys didn't forget, you can also change the color of the lamp. That is always an available function if you guys haven't done that. I will be hooking up these bars too to let you guys play with them, I think. I have to figure out what I can do. But this lamp is always hooked up to the chatbot, and you can just say lamp and then the color you want, or any hex value. So much going on. Okay, so we were just talking about craps and roulette. The roulette one is very doable. I just need to figure out what we call them. Right, so if we go back to my roulette table, I already have top, middle, bottom, and I have low, and I have high. I guess I could call these like row 1, row 2, row 3, but how do you know which one is row 1, which one's row 2, and which one's row 3? That's the thing. I just don't know how to refer to them. I guess it could be based on, I think we've talked about this before. We could base it on the first number in each of those rows. So this would be row 1, this would be row 2, this would be row 3. Maybe that's a reasonable way for you to do it. Let's do that. We're gonna add that to our to-do list. It's on the to-do list, so let's do it. Dev is just burying the chat in poker wagers. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So we're gonna go look at roulette, and the first thing that we want to do is look at our position, because this is the list of all of the places that you can bet. And so up here, I'm gonna have to have 3 new ones. Const row 1, and I always do these with underscores. I hate underscores, but I feel like it's a clearer way to write this stuff. And then we'll do this. We'll call this row 1. And the odds on those should be 1 out of 3, I think. Row 1. Okay. So there's row 1, row 2, and row 3. I want to check the odds on those too, just to make sure, but I think it's 3 to 1. Okay, so I have those new ones. I need to export those, so we'll add them here. Row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay, so I've added them to the possible outcomes that you could have. The next thing that I really should do, if I'm being responsible about this, is go to my tests for roulette, and I think I have a list in here called, if I go to roulette, where's roulette? I have one called color. I should probably have one called row. So we'll take this, file, save as, and we'll do row.js. And this is going to be a different list. So this is going to be row 1, row 2, and a third one called row 3. And these will be row 1, row 2, and row 3. Okay, now I need to figure out what values actually go in these lists. So I know 1 is going to be in row 1, but I don't know the rest of them. So the list is 1, 4, 7, 10. So we go up by 3s. Okay, 1, 4, 7, 10, 13. Where am I typing? There we go. 16, 19, 22, 25, 28. 31, 34. That should look right? 34, okay. So then this will be 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 32, and 35. I think I'm getting that right. And then this is going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. That looks pretty good. Okay, row 1, row 2, row 3. I have this new thing called row. I need to add that to my index file. Okay, so now we know all that. So now we need to go into our tests for roulette. And we're requiring all of roulette, so that's great. And so then I can just say, for all the red ones and all the numbers, I'm going to have to just do it like here. Could I do this another way? Could I run these tests? Could I do rows? Let's just, maybe we'll do it this way. Because I'm already looping through all the numbers. I hate to do it again. Do row. Okay, so I've got this list of tests like so. And then I need to say conditions just like this, but I want to say if. And I'm checking an array, so I actually want to do like roulette dot row 1 contains I. Helps if I have some opening parentheses and maybe a bigger font size. Why are all in here? Deck Tom, is this what you're asking about, like right here? I don't know. This feels easier for me to read. It would be. I see what you're saying though. Like take this and just put them as values right in here, like comma comma. I don't know. I don't know if there's any downside to what I'm doing, but if you can educate me, I'd love to hear it. I'm very open to learning, but I don't know. That just feels cleaner, nicer to me, and especially if I then need to add more things to this later, I don't need to restructure. So I guess that's my reasoning. And W. Giorgio is asking, why not one big array? Like a multi-dimensional array, where I have 3 different arrays inside one array? Is that kind of what you're thinking? Oh, I see. I don't know. I feel like, again, I write code for readability, and unless I'm taking a major performance hit, I would rather make it more readable. And so there's a lot of magic and functions that you can use, and mechanisms that you can build into JavaScript especially, that make it near impossible to read for someone else. But yeah, you had to write fewer characters. So I feel like this is really clear and concise. I can see what the values are in each row. I can understand what you're talking about here, and then I'm exporting that stuff out. So that will be my justification for most of this, is that gosh, that's so much easier to read. It doesn't mean it's right, and I'm always like, if somebody had a reason why I shouldn't do it that way, God, I'd be the first to say, okay, that sounds awesome. You're totally right. Let's rethink it. But I often sacrifice writing more code in the spirit of readability. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying if row 1 contains the number that we're looking at, then I want to run. No. Don't get me wrong, Deck Tom. I absolutely do that all the time. He's mentioning how it takes the fun out of going back and looking at a project and saying, what was I doing here? That still happens all the time. I still have so many circumstances in which I blow something up, or it just happens to... I look at it and I'm like, I would never write something like this. How did that happen? It happens to me all the time. So don't feel like I'm somehow getting away with saving myself time. And I know you're saying that in a way like, why would anyone bring that pain upon themselves? But I definitely do. So we're going to say this returns row row 1. And I expect the evaluator to contain roulette.position row 1. Okay, so then we'll do that 3 times with 2. So what I'm writing right now, you guys, I haven't spent a ton of time in my tests, but this is my test harness basically for each of the games. And then we'll drop some else's on here so we don't have to hit those automatically. And, okay. So now we have, I missed a 3. So I have row 1, row 2, row 3. And the important one is fixed. So I'm going to stop, guys, I'm going to stop the casino for just a second, just to run some tests against it. So just a warning for you there. So I'm going to run my tests. Oh, you're totally right. Thank you for catching that. The test will also find it. Okay, so, oh wait, they passed with that? How? Maybe I fixed it before it ran that test? No, it ran those first. Oh, because I'm not actually calling that function. Huh. That'll do it. Do row. X. So in those two functions, this is where I loop through the red and the black arrays. But I'm already hitting every single number by going through those arrays, with the exception of 0. Man, am I not testing 0? I just realized I am not testing 0. How did I manage that? Okay, well let's run some tests for 0 too. So this should be that. I just have a 0 deck, Tom. I didn't do a I did not do a double 0. Somebody else asked me about that earlier, but it's tempting. So that's my test for 0. But I also want to make sure that it returns a, if I look at my positions, maybe that's all it returns, is the 0. Yeah, I've restructured how I think about the roulette table. So there's only one test, but I could also do, let's do this. Does not return red. So we'll say not to contain red, and then we'll do the same thing for even and a couple of others. So this will be black and odd and even. Probably should do it for all of them just to make sure. So this is red, black. These all need to be 0s. So this is where I'm basically passing in the spin value to my test and saying, hey, it should return that we hit 0, but it should also not return that we hit odd, that we hit even, that we hit high. Whoop. So this becomes low. I actually don't even need, like I have that as a string, but I don't even need that as a string. That was when I was putting things together at once. Those all look good, so this needs to be low. I can't believe I didn't write these tests. I feel like I did once and then maybe I deleted them. So this is going to be top, middle, and bottom. Yes, I know the control left arrow thing, but for whatever reason, I never remember to do it. Plus, the control and option buttons are just not handy to me. So I haven't used them nearly as much as I should. And yeah, on a Mac it's option, but it's it works. I totally agree. I just don't feel like I'm losing that much time not doing it. But yeah, no, it's something I probably should put in more practice. But it's one of those things that I don't practice and I don't do, so it's never at the tip of my finger when I need to navigate stuff. That's a great tip though, Jack Tom. Thank you for reminding me about that. Okay, so we have all of our tests. Let's give the test one more run, just to see what we get. Please work, please work, please work. We blew something up. Okay. We only had one test fail, and the test that failed was roulette.row. Oh. Is it includes? I always. I can never keep those two terms apart. All right, one more time. Whoop. Cashier's good. Craps, poker, slots, and oh man. We had 36 tests fail. That's interesting. Spin 35 returns row 2. See if I can move this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So the way that the roulette evaluator works is that I pass back a collection, an array of objects that are the winning outcomes. And I think this is just me not having written my evaluator now. Because the fact that I had 36 fail and there's 36 possible outcomes, it seems like maybe I just need to write some code to make that test pass. So let's come in here to the evaluator. Neon Tuts, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so the thing we need to do here is just evaluate against that the same way that we were doing in our tests. So we should be able to take something like this and say if I don't have row in here, so we need to do const row equals require row.js. Okay. And we're in the middle of building a chatbot casino, as it says there at the bottom of the screen, Neon Tuts. I'll get the casino's not running right now because I'm writing some tests against it, but it'll be back up in just a minute. So all I need to do here is do if row.row1 includes spin like that. Yeah, the casino's not going to work just yet, Kevin, but that's very generous of you. We'll get it rolling in a second, and then you can give Neon Tuts some money. Oh, you built your own? I don't. Somehow I missed that, W. Giorgio. I didn't realize that you built casino stuff. Or maybe I did. You mean? Oh, you mean like you had the Streamlabs stuff running? This needs to be position row 1. This needs to be row 2. I love writing tests and then making them pass. One of my favorite pastimes. All right, so row 1, row 2, row 3, row 1, row 2, row 3. We should be able to get these tests going now, and they should all pass. Let's go. Roulette failed. Okay. I had 105 passed. I had 2. What's going on? Oh, was I in the wrong evaluator? I'm in the roulette evaluator. Did I not add row to this? I did. Oh, dot. Man, it's so picky. I've said this before, but I'm so tired of computers doing exactly what I tell them to do. It's really frustrating. Roulette. Oh, look at that. 5 passed, 651 total tests, and we are green. So what I think this means, everybody, is 1, let's start the casino back up. But 2, this means that we can now bet on the horizontal rows of a roulette table, which we were showing a second ago, right? So now we have row 1, row 2, and row 3, and the way we remember is what is the first number in each of those rows. I'm going to add as a to-do item, this to-do list is fun. So we can go to craps and we can say, roulette. And we can say, we need to be able to bet on the 3 horizontal rows of the app. Done. Check that off the list. But let's add a new one, which is, how would you add a 00? How would you guys do that? So let's talk about how the roulette game actually goes down. The roulette syntax is that's a great question. Position. It's row_1. So row_1, row_2, row_3. Because of the way that I'm handling all of my messaging, I'm using space as a delimiter. And so for you to say bet 4 on row 2 blows a whole bunch of stuff up. I probably should accommodate that at some point. Let's make that a general. Awesome, trade last. Wins on the first time it's available. And you won. Does it tell you how much you won? You won 15 coins because you bet 5. And it's 3-to-1 odds on that. So that's perfect. Yeah, I don't love the underscores. So that's what we're going to add here is how can we make all of the commands more chat friendly, less command driven. Kevin Evans, I'm glad that it works perfectly. I'm sad that it works because you lose. I'm using the default settings for. Let me see if I can flip this open. I'm using the default settings for setting up a connection to TMI, which is the JavaScript library that I'm using to talk to Twitch. And all I do down here is say connect to the address and the port. Unconnected handler is defined up here somewhere. Unconnected handler. So it's making that decision somehow. Let me flip off of my screen for a second. See if I'm defining that. I don't think I define the ports. No. No, so they're doing that as part of TMI, I would guess. Let me close those files. Don't need those open. All right, we're back. So that's W Giorgio. Did you just hit 8,000? Oh my god. I feel like maybe there's an interesting opportunity to set max bets. I mean, I don't really want to set maximum bets. If he wants to bet 4,000 or 8,000, I think that's great. But my goodness, that's a lot of money. Dectom, great question. In the roulette position file, here, I'll bring that up. Why are the odds for all the numbers 35, even though the odds are actually 37? There's a very specific reason for this, and it's called Casino House Edge. If you were to pay out all the odds completely evenly, then the casinos wouldn't make any money. So I'm using the odds that you find in casinos, and in fact, I should validate my roulette assumption. I'm pretty sure that I'm right about this, but if I say Wikipedia roulette odds, a row, no, let's see what else is going on here. Are you just gonna take me to the table? I haven't actually even looked at this before, so we should talk about this. Bet odds table. So we have they call them columns. Interesting. Well, I should probably change that. But they call them columns, and the payout is supposed to be 2-to-1, which is interesting because it's like the odds are really 3-to-1, or a little less than 3-to-1, I guess. Because red and black, well, you know what? Red and black pay 1-to-1, and then these dozens pay 2-to-1, so it should also be 2-to-1. Okay. So in my rows, which I think I'm going to have to rename to column, these should be 2-to-1. And if you guys haven't noticed, I store all my odds as whatever to 1 is. So in the example of poker where it pays weird, no, it's not poker, it's craps that pays weird odds. If you look at my positions for these, a lot of them are like 1.5, 1.2. This is how the odds are structured in craps. You'll also notice that some of them don't have odds, and it's because the odds are calculated at the time based on other criteria on the table. So I have to set those odds as things are happening, but there's no default odds for these things. You're totally right, Mr. Smoofy. They are. This is the payout. So when we talk about the payout, this is the thing that I'm really looking at. I don't really care to store odds. I don't care what the actual odds are. What I care about is what is the actual amount of money that you're going to get. So the way that this casino works is you make a wager. You say, I bet 5 on poker. All it does is says, okay, he's betting 5, and I lock that up as a bet, but I don't actually withdraw it from your account. Then when the outcome happens, because it all happens in one motion, if you win, I just pay you out the odds, but I never took the original one. But if you think about it, if I put $5 on the table and I win this first column bet 2-1, they give me 2 more $5 chips. So I have $15 laying on the table. And when I scoop them up, it feels like I'm taking $15 back. But realistically, you won $10. And so that's what the 2-1 is. And that's why these are the payout that I use as my odds, because this is how I actually calculate what did you win based on whatever the specific scenario happens to be. So, Trayless, you mentioned the rows columns, so I'm going to have to go back and fix, because I really, it seems like it should be column. I'm sorry that I missed it earlier. So we're gonna take this whole thing. We're gonna create a new file in Roulette called columns. Column. I don't like to pluralize things if I don't have to. And then this is going to be column 1, if I could spell. Nobody else is going to be able to spell this either, which would be super fun. Column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay. Trade last, awesome, man. That's a good way to do it. Well, that's fine. For the actual prefixes that you guys use, I can do that, so you don't have to spend column every time. That's good feedback. Thank you, Deck Tom. But I generally, in code, I don't like to abbreviate because, again, readability. But I will be able to do that for what we're talking about. So if we come to the position table here, we're going to change these to column 1, column 2, column 3. Gosh, we're almost at time. Okay, so those are fixed, but that doesn't. Now everything's broken, so you're not going to be able to make those bets. We got to change these. Wow. Crow. Column 3. Okay. So that's all good. Now we need to go fix our tests. Because those will all break. And this needs to be good. I like when they includes just word column. Oh, this is going to break so many things. Okay. you think the odds for... Thank you. Thank you, thank you. This all the tests look right now. I'm not going to run the tests, but we should probably call this do column. And I should have these in here too. So this should be call one, nope, underscore. I think that's all good. So now I need to fix the index, which this is now column, and this is column. How many times did I write column? Okay. So, and then the evaluator also needs this probably. Jitesh Pubreja. Jitesh Pubreja. Thank you for the follow. I'll make sure I get your name right there. Okay, we're just fixing a few things here. Column. Call. Remind me never to refactor stuff like this again, or to do my research before I just start diving in. Okay, I think we're almost there. So if we think about playing our game, we have our evaluator. The easiest way to do this is just to run the test, but you guys are cranking on the casino, so I don't really want to stop it. So let me do a more manual test here. Call 4. No, not 4. And something's broken. Cannot read property includes of undefined. Column. If I look at roulette, column, the index got updated, column, all right, y'all, I'm going to have to stop the casino just for a second, just to figure out what's going on here. Whoa. Oh, did I somehow... How did that ever pass? Maybe I thought all the tests passed. See what abbreviation gets me? Errors. Come on, Tess. Let's do this. Roulette. Because it's includes. Oadia, thank you for the follow. Let's get some tests to pass this time. That would be fantastic. What am I doing in the evaluator? Is it contains? It includes. Roulette dot column honestly yeah, I was just trying to move too fast. Thank you, Deck Tom, for finding that. Still didn't fix it, but cannot read property. Now, where are we doing this? This is in the evaluator. I did it wrong there too. Okay, maybe that will do it. Maybe that'll get us to a point where we're working. Roulette passed. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's reopen for business. And should be working now. Roulette 10 call 3. Okay, I lost. I'm okay with losing. I just want it to work. Whew. All right. Here, we're gonna do this. Give DeckTom99. Thank you for all of your help. Enjoy some coins. What are you talking about? I should be able to give any amount of... Oh, I forgot I turned that off. I had a feature where I was allowing myself to give away... coins regardless of my balance. But I think I broke something as weird. Let's fix that. We have the power to write some code. Let's fix it as it's 11:59, and I should be wrapping things up. So in the give call, which is here, this is where I say if context username doesn't equal Jeff Blankenburg, then withdraw. That should work. Thanks, W. Georgia. Thanks for looking out for me, man. Well, I didn't want to be in the leaderboard, so I took all my coins away. Give Deck Tom. I see why. Because it is because I check if it's a valid wager here. So this check, we could actually go into our valid wager checker, which is in the cashier. Is valid wager. Let's just do this. This will be fun. If user.fields.username return true. The greatest hard coding of all time. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. It's not ideal, but we'll just drop that in there, and now I should be able to say give DeckTom99 5,000. It does mean that I can bet more than my balance, but that's fine. I have access to the database. I can always fix my balance. So that is just fine. Give poor Kevin Evans. So there you go. We have the ability. I have the magic hand of God when it comes to coins. I can give anybody coins anytime I want. What I'm Dectom, what I'm ultimately going to be doing with this is rolling this out. Let's call it a product. I don't know if I'll actually charge for it, but I'm going to roll it out so that people can sign up and add it to their own channels. And while they are streaming, while it's happening on their channel, I was thinking that I would give them the ability to have the same kind of administrative powers that I have. So that, like, if you were streaming and you wanted this casino to be running on your channel, it would just tune in, it would subscribe automatically, and then you would have the same kind of administrative power that I have. So you could just give people coins when you wanted to, or whatever. The cool thing about the way this Chatcino works is that it is universal across all Twitch channels. So this is running on a number of people's channels right now, just as a test. Like W. Giorgio is a good example. And so you can go to his channel and play in the same casino with the same balance. It travels with you. Well, I don't. Yeah, maybe that's the way I go. Maybe it is something simple like that. But I think I need to figure out how to effectively manage this, right? Because then we're talking about moderators on each channel now have the ability to give everybody more coins, when realistically the users themselves have the ability to give themselves more coins just by participating in chat, which is the whole point of the casino, right? Is to give people the opportunity to play this game, but to do it they have to like have a conversation. You've done a fantastic job of this, Dectom, today. Dev, another good example of somebody that's like participating in chat. And obviously, lots of the regulars that are here do the same thing. But like, you get one coin every single time you post a message. The balances are not localized, Dectom. It's the same balance on all channels. So if you go to another channel and bet something, it affects your balance here. It's universal across all of the channels. I didn't want people to have to remember how many coins they had based on each channel. It wouldn't be hard to do. I have that information. I felt like it was kind of cooler that it's this universal thing that floats around all the channels and that you can use anywhere. What do you guys think about that? Would you prefer that, to have your own balance in each channel? It's something I certainly thought about, but I have not done. We just fixed some things. I want to get back to my to-do list. So if we look at roulette, how would you add a 00? I'm already out of time, but I feel like maybe 00 will be something we'll work on next time. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up for today. But this has been super cool. I love that we have our new light up sign. I'm gonna have to add a bunch of new functionality to that in my free time, and I'll be back again here Wednesday morning. So this is a light week for me. So there is the possibility that I may go live on Tuesday. I may go live on Thursday. It'll probably be in the afternoons. So if you guys aren't following, Dectom, thank you for the follow. If you guys aren't following, please drop a follow, because then you'll know when I'm coming back on. You'll get that little notification in your email. You can also follow me on Twitter. I usually announce 15 to 30 minutes before I go on about what I'm going to do there. So I cannot believe how much money W. Giorgio has. It's making me blown away, and it's got to be making Kevin Evans just sad. Zav TV, I haven't seen your name before. The only problem with a non-localized is that you can give unlimited amounts in your own chat and it travels with you. I agree, but this is a fun currency, right? It really doesn't matter what your balance is. It's meant more to be something that's entertaining and fun to do while you're watching a stream. So it keeps people on the channel, right? It's real easy to tune into this stream and then flip away and do something else and just listen to it. This keeps people engaged. It keeps people playing, which is ultimately some of the goal of it. So I don't really care what your balance is, as long as you're having fun with it. Anyway, my goal, I think, if I can do this, maybe we'll start this in Q3, which starts what? We're in Q3, July, August, September, and then October, November, December. So maybe starting in October, we'll zero everybody out, and we'll have a real contest where by month, probably by month, we'll have seasons, right? Like you see in like Fortnite and other stuff, where the top 5, whoever has the most money at the end, those people will win some kind of prize, right? I can come up with prizes for sure. But maybe we'll do that starting in September or October, where you can come onto the channel anytime. You can actually play this thing. It's running a lot of the time, so you could come in and play it even when there's no stream or anything like that. But yeah, I think at some point we'll have to zero everybody out and reset to make it fair. But it's a really interesting concept, because then there will be prizes, and so it's kind of a running every month. You start at 0 again, and you got to earn coins, or maybe when we reset everybody to like 1,000 or something, so that you're not starting at 0. But yeah, well, it's a long time away, W. Giorgio. Let's see what happens. You're wagering 8,000 at a time. You're clearly not concerned about your balance too much. I still can't believe you hit 8,000 on that one. But anyway, it's been fun. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I will see you all on Wednesday for sure, but there's a good chance that I'll be on Tuesday and Thursday this week as well. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Oh, actually, before I do that, before I leave, we should always raid somebody, right? I always forget to do that. Let's go to Twitch. I don't know a better way to do this, but I have to go. I have to go in here, and then I have to click on this, and I have to go to channel creator dashboard. There's got to be a better way to do this. Creator dashboard, and then we'll go raid somebody if I can get this to actually open. Creator dashboard, please. I think I agree with you that to a point on the whole. You know what? I'm reading messages from Chime. Never mind. So let's go here. Raid channel. Who's online right now that we could hit? Who can we hit? Begin bot. We were just talking about him. Let's do it. Start raid. Send you guys all over there. He's got a bunch of awesome chatbots. If you haven't played with them before, type !me to get started, and you'll find that there's a bunch of other cool stuff that you can interact with. So here we go. Make sure you go in, say raid. I'm not running the casino on his channel. I don't want to interfere with all of his bots, but you guys can check out all the other stuff that's going on there. Thank you guys all again. I really appreciate it. See you soon.
What's up, Jeff Blankenburg? How are you? So constant aren't really. No, they are special. They are special. Bot down. Is the bot down? No. Is it down? Could be down. Raid. What's going on, Jeff Blankenburg? How was your stream? How was life? What you building today? Okay. So. So just lagging? A little bit laggy? Yeah, it happens. It happens here. Okay, good. Let me actually copy these notes because we are getting down to the interesting stuff here. Okay. So const. Some sort. Well, I'll go to assumptions, I guess. What's new, Began? Well, we're doing some Go today. So you're doing some Go. There's a chance. Stream was great. Building the chatbot casino. Nice, Jeff. Nice. We're gonna go down the route of a little Go today. Right. These are all the notes. Too many notes. Is that legal? It's actually not legal on Twitch if you actually take real money, but you can gamble other things. Okay, real quick. So I'm gonna put in assumptions before I find out if it's an assumption or not. Const have some sort of auto type inference, type conversion. Don't know. We'll learn. No real money. There you go. This will destroy your investment. I think I've listened to that before. I've listened to a bit of This Will Destroy You here. I'll check that one specifically though. What's up, Gianta? How are you? That's Steve Ballmer Loop. They're partying hard. Is Dogecoin money? Dogecoin is definitely not money here. With your permission, no pressure. I can spin it up here. Sure, why not, Jeff Blankenburg? Spin it up, even though we have already, I don't even know. I think we've passed 2,000 chats, 2,000 commands in the chat, so there's already quite a few things happening. So if it gets chaotic, don't blame me. Okay, so let's go read about this thing. Well, first of all, it runs, right? That's the amazing part right here. If I run this right here, you can see it does run. So something magical happens. They're not telling us here. Numeric constants are high precision values. Even if it's an integer, an untyped constant takes the type needed by the context.
Thank you.
Try printing need int big too. An int can store a maximum of a. Okay, I think I understand. Rub-a-dub TV, what's up? How are you? It's about to get crazy up in here. You couldn't do it? I'll try it right now. Just printing. Oh yeah, you can't print. We'll see. I'm not sure. But well, you can't print it regularly, right? Because printing is requiring a string, and then your big right here is an integer. I don't know. Pi is an example. I'm not sure. Deb, thank you for the follow. Just means if you give it a large number, larger than 2.4, it goes from N32 to N64. Auto scales to type. Nice. What are you working over there? So we have a whole system built here, Rub-a-Dub TV, that is just interacting with my chat in various ways, right? There's, I don't know. There's a whole economy based off of, buying different sound effects. We have probably, I think, 1,700 sound effects. Yeah, the prices go up, they go down. You can buy them, you can steal them, you can trade them. You can also customize your own website. If you type !me, you'll see your website. But right now, we're taking a detour and actually looking into Go right here. One bot per policy. Everyone can make one bot in my chat. We have a one bot per policy. If you visit my geoangelfirespace.city, you'll see here's all the bots we have right now from other users. So if you want to learn HTML, you want to learn JavaScript, you want to learn, or not HTML, you want to learn CSS, maybe some JavaScript, or maybe a bot of any language here. We've got ways to interact with the chat yourself here. What's up, Sage? Missed your stream yesterday. Aw, no big deal, no big deal. Good to have you here today. There's no such thing as missing because you're not required to be in here.